Welcome to another episode of MMA Uncut. I'm your host, Richie V, here with the human manifestation of a Sebas himself, Sebastian the Great. Alright, you guys, we just wrapped up UFC 207 last night. Rousey versus Nunes.
Woo.
There's a lot.
Nunes versus who?
Who the fuck? Yeah, you know, the mythical creature that we all have the pleasure of watching because she's a once-in-a-lifetime athlete.
The Mike Tyson of the division?
Yeah, the fucking,
Once in a lifetime athlete, that one?
Yeah.
Wow, guys.
According to Joe Rogan, you know, the girl who could beat 60% of the men's bantamweight division, according to Joe Rogan.
Guys, I've said this for the longest, and, you know, I don't want to kick somebody while she's down, but Ronda Rousey has no hands whatsoever. The real question here, guys, is the question we're going to ask you guys. Who has better hands, Brock Lesnar or Ronda Rousey?
Who has,
And no, seriously, I want you guys to comment on it, and next time we chime in next week, we'll talk about it, and we'll discuss it. Who has better boxing out of them two?
Who takes a better punch? Who has better footwork and head movement?
Well, Brock takes the better punch because Brock was getting hit by Shane Carwin, and he didn't knock him out. And Ronda Rousey, if her beam doesn't stop that, is she out?
Oh yeah, that was a good stoppage. Yeah, she was getting her fucking head used like a fucking speed bag. It was like and she was just getting rocked. There was no head movement at all. You would think when you're getting the shit punched out of your fucking cranium that at some point you would start to move your head instead of having it just be a stationary target to be picked apart.
Or put your hands up, right?
Something.
I mean,
run away.
I mean, why not? I mean, clearly what we saw, guys, Manny Nunes is, and you know, we're uncensored, so we say how it is. We support gays. We don't care. She's going to bring the big gay community, lesbian community behind her. And as well as she's actually a good person. It seems like she is. She's genuine.
Yeah.
And you could tell, even when they wrapped the belt around her, me and Richie have been watching the replay all day. When they wrapped the belt around it, it's like she just won it all over again. The emotion.
Yeah.
She's a fighter.
Very passionate.
Ronda Rousey says, yeah, if you fight for money, you're a can-do bitch. But honestly, I think Nunes has more heart and she has more desire than Ronda Rousey. By far.
So much further, bro. Fucking, let's say what it really was. The girls who Rousey beat, I think a lot of them could have beat her, but they bought into her hype. I think leading up to the fights against her, they were saying, wow, if I beat this girl, I'm beating the greatest of all time. They put her up on a pedestal. They already pictured her like she was the greatest of all time. And that's why I always say I'm not ready to cement anybody's legacy for GOAT status, greatest of all time, you know, until their career is over. Like we had a discussion about Jon Jones one time saying that, you know, and this is exactly why. Because a couple years ago, everybody would have said, yeah, Rousey's without a doubt the greatest women's mixed martial artist of all time. What do we think about her now? Overrated, overhyped, probably would get beat by half the people that she's already beaten now.
Dominic Cruz too. Before this fight, before he got beat, people would say he's a GOAT, top 5, top 10.
I don't think they would say that.
In his division.
But that's why
in his division,
like I said, I don't like to cement their status. It's the same thing why I said I'm not ready to call Jon Jones one of the greatest of all times. We had a discussion about that on one of our first podcasts. And that's why I said it, because look what's happened since then. Pop for PEDs. I don't think he's taking dick pills. Come on, let's get real. The dude's 27 years old. He's a fucking professional athlete, probably in the greatest shape of his life. You don't need pills to fuck. Trust me.
It was 2 things he got caught for. It wasn't 1.
Yeah, exactly.
It was 2 things.
Yeah, and he has his lawyer go and find the exact fucking thing over the counter that has that ingredient, so they can say, "Look, this is what he's taking." Come on, you can use that loophole, but you're not really fooling anybody else. And now look at that. So let's say he comes back. He's not the same fighter. He barely fucking, you know, he beat Ovince St. Preux. Ovince St. Preux had a broken arm for most of the fight.
Who got starched by Jimmy Manuwa in the first round.
Yeah. Now let's say Jon Jones came back.
He gets starched by Cormier.
Yeah, he loses to Cormier, loses to Rumble, loses to Gustafsson. After all that PED shit, we're not going to be calling him the greatest of all time anymore. That's why I say I like to wait till the end of their careers to say it. it's different with GSP because GSP is kind of like we look at him like he's past his prime, you know. But if he came back, he would still be dangerous. But if he lost now, we'd be like, well, he's past his prime. You get what I'm trying to say?
He's been out for a while. I don't know, man. Ronda Rousey, guys, and I think we were all fooled. We all bought the hot train. I knew she had no hands, but yesterday was real apparent is she can't even shoot for a takedown. The only way she can get you down
is if you come in close enough for her to grab you.
Yeah, she has to grab you and judo toss you. I've never seen her shoot on anybody.
No.
And honestly, Amanda Nunes, if she fights Ronda Rousey, she beats Ronda Rousey 10 out of 10 times.
10 out of 10 times.
I don't see. I mean, the only thing, and Amanda Nunes can get up from. I think she'll get up, and all the fights that they all start standing, and if Nunes catches her with one, I mean, you could tell she's never been hit like that. That's why a lot of these fighters, like you said, a lot of them are offensive, and the way I describe Ronda Rousey is like a bully. She tries to intimidate people, but when she gets hit in the face, she can't take it. She's not a real fighter. Call it what it is. A real fighter can take it back. McGregor, when he lost, he wasn't a sore loser. He was like, you know what? Nate was the better guy than me today, but I'm going to get better. And then he started talking his trash again. But Ronda Rousey, overhyped. And you know, I don't feel bad for her, guys, because she's worth like $25 million. Okay, so
she's a bully. She's a fucking bully. And then the way I really knew she was going to lose was at the weigh-ins, right? She comes up, she's like making this tough-ass face, like she's trying to psych out Amanda Nunes. Nunes doesn't even give a fuck, dude. And this kind of goes to what I was telling him the other day. And we were talking about like gays, you know what I'm saying? I think it has a lot to do with it being gay. And like we said, we don't hate on anybody for their lifestyle choice. So when I say this, it's not to be offensive, but like Amanda Nunes is what I would call a bull dyke. You know what I'm saying? She's a bull dyke. Like
we all know some of them.
She's like a dude, you know, in a lot of ways. Like she's like some of the ways that she acts would be more like what you would consider like a dude to act. So it's kind of like if Ronda Rousey was trying to come up to me and intimidate me and trying to like make a tough face to try to like make me flinch like that, I would just look at her like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you trying so hard? Like, you know that I would whoop your, you know I would give you that fucking work. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Nunes was looking at her the same way. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying so hard? Like, you know I'm going to fucking destroy you. I'm a man.
Does Rumble Johnson act like that?
Exactly.
Does Fedor Emelianenko act like that?
Them niggas don't give a
fuck,
Does GSP
bro. Act like that?
Nah, hell no.
You know why? Because does a lion act like that? No. They know what they got, and they don't got to put up this persona and psych you out.
And trick themselves.
Anderson Silva didn't feel like that. You're right. Rax called me. He said this morning. He said, "Imagine if it was Cyborg." I think Cyborg finished her even more brutally. I think so too. I mean, Ronda, you can't even block a punch, and you're getting hit by Cyborg.
No wonder she was ducking her, bro. She knew it. Cyborg knew it. Nunes knew it, and now we all know it.
So let's wrap up this Ronda talk real quick. Where does can Amanda Nunes beat Cyborg?
No. This is where it comes into weight class. They're relatively the same fighter, I think. Very similar styles. They prefer to strike it out, and if it goes to the ground, they have all the tools there as well. So when you take two very evenly matched up styles like that, the weight class and the size advantage is the only thing that separates them. And I think the size advantage would allow Cyborg to beat Nunes. But I do think Nunes would give her a good run, better than most or all of the other women that Cyborg's fought before.
Does Amanda Nunes beat Holly Holm?
Yes. Amanda Nunes beats Holly Holm because the fight can go to the ground and Holly Holm's grappling game is not complete.
What happens to Ronda Rousey from now? Is she retired? And what would she be remembered as?
She's going to be remembered as a pioneer, a trailblazer, somebody that took the world by storm, but couldn't evolve with the game.
I have a good one. Ken Shamrock. When Ken Shamrock first came out, one of the pioneers of UFC, they said he's the world's dangerous man, all this hype, right? And he started getting beat, and people were like, he's not that. He's not the world's most dangerous man. But he is. You still say Ken Shamrock, and people know, especially the MMA fans.
And they still say he's a legend, too.
He's a legend, but...
He is a legend.
GOAT status, Ronda Rousey? Hell no.
Hell fucking no.
honestly, I mean, she needs to. I mean, she has $25 million. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel sorry for you. You're a bully. You was fun to watch you for a while, but what this does, guys, it makes Conor McGregor that much more of a star because the only draw the UFC has.
Conor wins again. Another win for Conor.
That's so true. If you put Conor anywhere, he's a guaranteed sellout. Ronda Rousey, who else do they have other than that?
I'll tell you what, Conor's a guaranteed sellout until he takes a loss like that, like what Rousey took.
He would never take a loss like that. He would never get. He can at least block a punch.
You don't think so? You don't think Khabib might be the one who could expose him and say, look, he's not what you guys all thought he was, that he was in everyone else's head, that he was getting in everyone's head? Like, he ain't getting in Khabib's head, bro. This dude trains in the fucking mountains. He's been wrestling bears. Where he was raised, fighting, it wasn't really even like, it wasn't just anything, it's everything. You're not fighting because you want to learn a sport and, become famous and make a lot of money. You're fighting because you don't know when you're going to have to go to war. You don't know when the soldiers are going to come try to kick in your fucking door and rape your family. And when you might have to fight to the fucking death against grown men when you're 15, 16 years old. That's what Khabib is fighting for.
And you know what's funny? Ronda says, you're a do-none bitch if you fight for money. I honestly think, and I mean this 100%, her mom has to defend her and say, yeah, she has passion. I didn't see it. I saw what I saw, and I'm not from the street, but I can see game. She tried to fool all of us and hype herself up, but you can see through a bullshit. You can only bullshit your way for so long. Have you heard that saying?
Yeah.
For so long, and then people start saying, because if you think about it, Amanda Nunes, the passion, Jose Aldo, the passion those guys have, they don't fight for the money. They really don't fight for the money. They cry. Like, you see how bad Conor McGregor, how he takes it. Daniel Cormier. I don't think for them it's for the money. The people that have that real passion. I think Ronda kind of upsold her passion.
Because a lot of these people were fighting before they were making money for it.
Well, it's like they said, Misha Tate brought up a good point. Any athlete that loses like that, they want a rematch. Me and you play basketball, you beat me, I want to play you right again.
Away. And as soon as possible.
No, I got to take some time off to evaluate myself. You didn't do anything to change the Holly Holm. If anything, you look worse. Now the fighters have more confidence. And that's when it's dangerous, guys, because
now everybody
believe.
Like, shit.
Now they believe.
Yeah.
It's been done before by two people.
Easily.
I don't know what happened, sir. Let's talk about the co-main event.
Yeah, Cruz versus Garbrandt. Okay, I was more surprised by this fight than I was with the Rousey fight. I kind of expected Nunes to dismantle her in the first round. But shit, dude, fucking
no love.
I did not expect Cody Garbrandt to not just win, but to dominate him and kind of dominate him using Dominic Cruz's own style. Kind of using good movement, dancing around, effective counter punching.
Not chasing
Put him on his ass a few times.
Didn't chase him.
Talking shit to him the whole time, back and forth.
Didn't chase him.
Didn't chase at all, dude. No. He took Dominic out of his comfort zone by just using his own medicine against him. And it worked. I was surprised. I was very surprised.
I think that I don't know what Dominic Cruz can do. Obviously, he's a great fighter. We both agree on that. His only thing is he lacks power because he can hit you, but he's a point fighter in a way, right?
Yeah.
And normally, at times, most of them go to decision.
Yeah.
And
so when he's down 3 rounds to none,
it's pretty much over for him.
And then I'm like, at this was like, okay, if he doesn't finish him, it's fucking over. And
you win the first 2 rounds. Yeah, but Cody No Love, he showed maturity. A lot of champions don't win their first time. GSP took the second time to win. Anderson Silva struggled a bit, but Cody No Love, I think trained at Team Alpha Male, I think he has that power. He doesn't have John Lineker power, but he's got that watch out power. I can knock you out. If I catch you clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lineker hits just way different. You could tell the way he was landing on TJ Dillashaw. But to put
it's not as effective though. It's more like a wild, wide open swing. Cody's just coming straight from the pocket. Boom, boom. That's it. And right back here. Boom, boom. And Lineker is like dropping, coming out, throwing these crazy haymakers.
If you're the UFC, do you do a rematch with Cruz? He hasn't lost in 13 fights.
Nah.
That doesn't sell or what?
Nah, you give it to Dillashaw. Dillashaw did enough, you know.
A lot of people thought Dillashaw beat Cruz and they fought.
Exactly. So a lot of people thought he beat Cruz. Dillashaw beats a Sunsao. He beats Lineker. He's beating all the top-ranked guys. He gets the next shot.
He beat the fuck out of Barral. He arguably could have beat Cruz.
Twice.
Who wins that?
Dillashaw is nasty, bro.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
And he mixes it up.
And that's what shocked me about Cruz, where I was like, when he wasn't getting the better of the exchanges, it's almost like his ego took over.
He didn't have a plan B.
And instead of him, and that's the whole thing he was talking about. He was like, I have so many dimensions to my game. And I believed him, and I was like, but I didn't see any.
Guys, the only fighter that really has, because Conor, he sticks to his striking. The one that really has, where he switches up the best, is GSP. Because if GSP, if he's tagging, if he's standing on the feet with you, and he's not getting the best of you, he's got a neutral bomb, atomic bomb, which is a takedown, and it's coming nonstop.
And you can't stop it. Nobody can stop it.
He doesn't care what you think. He's gonna hit you with it.
And it's like Chael Sonnen said. He said, GSP is the strongest person I've ever felt fucking grab me. He's like, he grabbed my wrist, and I couldn't move my entire body. He was controlling him with just one wrist, holding him like that. And Chael Sonnen couldn't move, and Chael Sonnen's a grappler.
We got to talk about, like you said, Dillashaw and Lineker. Good fight. Lineker is good, but he's more of a brawler. He's got to switch up his game a little bit, because if he doesn't catch you early, then you can beat him. He's got holes in his game. Mad power, though. Yeah. Exciting fighter. He'll be in the UFC.
He truly is one-dimensional. Like, he don't have kicks. He don't have grappling. He don't even have defense. His only defense is just that he's so fucking tough that it's like you almost can't even hurt him. He was getting the shit elbowed, and he was fucking getting his head rocked off the canvas, and he didn't even react.
So if you're UFC, do you give Cruz Lineker?
I think you have to.
Who wins that? Which
kind of pisses me off, because I wanted to see Garbrandt versus Lineker. I thought that would be a lot of fun.
Throw down,
like somebody's getting fucking slapped. You know what I'm saying? Or it's gonna be a brawl. We might get that in the future. We'll see. If Dillashaw takes out Garbrandt, we might get that.
And guys, and real quick, I know it's kind of crazy, but Richie Racks is a personal trainer. He always talks about fighters that don't have butts. He always says, a lot of the champions, the way they're built, right? Because you look at a fighter like Rumble, he's an exception. He's a great fighter. But you look at Fedor Emelianenko, he doesn't have the fighter's body.
Yeah, no ass.
Anderson Silva.
No ass.
Amanda Nunes.
No ass. Kelvin Gastelum.
No ass. Cain Velasquez.
No ass.
And then you go, what's his name? Your boy, Cody Garbrandt. No ass. so my thing is, where do they get all this power from?
It's rotational. It's coming from the core and where the hips meet. It's like having a big ass is one of those things where it's like when you're training for a specific sport, your body is going to adapt to that sport. So unless you're born with a huge ass, like it's genetics, like some people are born with big chest, right? Your body will kind of just get rid of the ass. You get what I'm trying to say? Like
it's like out.
If you look at all volleyball players, they all kind of look the same, right? If you look at the girls, they got great asses, great legs. They have abs, but their belly almost kind of pokes out a little bit. It's almost like it benefits them to have a little bit of a stomach, like somewhere in the spiking motion, it must help. And then they have really skinny arms and no tits. You know what I'm saying? So your body will adapt to whatever sport you play. And I just think that in fighting, for whatever reason, your body will kind of just get rid of your ass if you're training for fighting a lot, unless it's genetics.
Like Rumble Johnson.
Yeah. Or Betch Kohea.
Guys, so let's talk about Johny Hendricks. He fought Neil Magny. A lot of people thought that Hendricks got robbed. Richie Racks, we talked about it before the podcast. He's like, nah, Magny won that fight.
I thought Magny won. I thought he was doing more on the ground. So it's like Hendricks is taking him down. What are you doing with the takedown, though? Are you just laying there? Because Magny's landing elbows from the bottom. Those fucking sting. If you've ever been hit with one of those downward elbows when you're in the fucking triangle, that shit hurts. Not only that, he's looking for a submission, so he's looking for more finishes. And I score that higher than a takedown. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I look at it like, if you're going to do more work from the ground, you're almost like, fuck it, take me down. I'll let you take me down. I don't even have to take you down. Just take me down. Yeah, you're doing my job for me. Now I got you right in this triangle.
It's not like Hendricks was doing any damage or be clear. What happens to Hendricks, man? Is his third loss in a row? Do you cut him?
I think Hendricks is out, y'all, which is sad because he's like one of the most successful fighters from this area. He's actually from the city that we're in right now, Mansfield, Texas.
He's a legend here.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, but I'll tell you what, we see him like you see him at like restaurants here,
pigging out.
Yeah, pigging out, bro. Fucking fully loaded nachos.
Not that works for us, but that doesn't work for a professional athlete.
No. Not when you're trying to make a weight. I'll tell you another thing, dude. It's a little known interesting fact about this area that we live in. It's the highest fast food percentage of fast food places per person per square mile in the United States, which means probably the world. So we essentially live in like the fast food capital of the world. Like, yay, that's our claim to fame of our city. Like, we have the most fast food.
It is true.
Like,
there's a shitload of fast
disgusting.
Food.
Like, there's a lot of people that are in really good shape here, but there's a lot of people that are in fucking terrible shape. Like, they look horrible. Like you know, it's sad. Like, I want to help them get in better shape, but It's hard. It's hard in the city that we live in because it's just so accessible. It's so easy to get the fast food. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I'd be willing to bet that it can't help.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that Johny Hendricks, was he on PEDs?
Probably. But who knows?
I've never seen somebody fall off like that. Rousey. But,
yeah.
You know,
the thing is that Rousey looked so good. Like, her body looked like so good this time. I was like, oh shit! Like, she looks like she's in crazy shape.
I don't think it's ever about that because it's about, like you
You're
said,
right.
It's not about how you
look at Calvin Gastelum.
It's about your skills.
Yeah.
And who's that?
Your mental mindset.
Who's that trainer for GSP? He brought in a kickboxer that doesn't do any cardio. What was his name?
I can't remember that dude's name, but he's a French Canadian dude. If you've been watching The Ultimate Fighter for a long time. It was a season that GSP was coaching. He brings him in, and this dude is nasty. Like, he don't wind up none of his shots, but he's just straight power. Like, and he's like tagging niggas in the chest with like a little short hook, fucking them up. And he's drinking a margarita while they're training. And then GSP's telling him, GSP with his accent, like he's telling them like, guys, you can't do what he does. Like, you can't smoke, you can't drink and eat like this guy is an exception. He's just a freak. And you look at his body, he's got like a belly. You know what I'm saying? Like no definition in his arms at all. You know what I'm saying? No chest muscles. Just like a little bit of fat. Like right here. Like just a little bitch tit. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking everybody up.
Fucking everybody up, yo. Crazy. So yeah, it's not about looks. We talk about it all the time. Show muscle, go muscle, the size of people's heads. And then the mental aspect, I think, is obviously a huge part too. But yeah, in addition to that, we want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to hear what you guys think is next for Ronda Rousey. What's next for Amanda Nunes, Cruz, Garbrandt, Dillashaw, Lineker. So make sure you leave those in the comments so we could see what's on you guys' mind, because we like to hear what everyone else has to say and y'all's input. We know that most of the people that watch, they're real true fans like us, and it's just interesting for us to see what you guys think about it. So go ahead and make sure that you leave those comments in the comment box below. Anything else?
No, like I said, Ronda Rousey needs to come up, face the media. She badges the media so hard, but the media's the reason why you're rich.
Yeah.
And it's like, the fans supported her. I mean, if you're a bully atmosphere, you're not even gracious in defeat. Had she came back and said, you know what, I just, take it. I mean, you can't be like that. You can't just go MIA, hiding, and you're making it way worse. Like Dana White said a real good thing. He said sometimes it's not about what people do, it's the reaction after that makes it even worse, and that's so true. I could cheat on somebody, but if I act a certain way, but if I own up to it, own up, hey, I got my ass beat.
Exactly.
And you know what, I'm going to come back, or you know what, I'm not in it no more. people would love that because people love honesty. And people their bullshit.
That's why people are starting to catch on because that's what Trump does. They're like, yo, Trump, we heard you say that you just walk up to girls and just grab them by the pussy. And instead of being like, I never said that, he'll be like, you know what? I said it. It's locker room talk. I didn't mean it. Like, you know, that's just how guys talk. Like, you know,
just not real. Really just be real with people.
Just be honest. He's like, yeah, you know, I said it. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, yeah, you recorded me when I was talking. And I'm thinking I'm in the privacy of my own home. And
R.I.P.
That's at it.
Mike Goldberg.
Oh, dude.
Let's end it with that.
Damn, I might shed a tear right now. You see it?
So Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg have been commentating UFC for the last 15 years. And Mike Goldberg is not going to be part of the crew anymore. Yesterday was his last fight commentating. Rax is a little sad. He came in with his head down.
Crying.
But he does make it fun, guys. They said they're going to put Jim Rome in there. I don't
Fuck Jim Rome,
I don't
dude.
know how that's going to go. But
I can't stand that motherfucker. He's a douche. Yeah, I hate him. I love Mike Goldberg. I mean, yeah, okay. Does Mike Goldberg get names wrong every once in a while? Sure. Does he say things like, his precision is so precise? Yeah, he says it almost all the time. Wow, what a great leg kick to the body. That's why we love Mike Goldberg. We love Mike Goldberg because he's been watching and commentating for 20 years, and somehow he still fucks it up. So what if he's never fought? So what if he is not familiar with all the ring stuff? I mean, come on, are we criticizing fucking, you know, dudes that commentate basketball that have never played? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the dude that just passed away? Greg Sager. You know, was he like the best basketball player of all time? No, but he fucking loved the game, you know, and he had his little sayings, you know, like,
he's weird.
There's the alley and here's the oop. You know, exactly. And Mike Goldberg, he's just got some of the most classic lines. If you think about it, I'm going to miss him doing the tail of the tape, going, everything else is virtually identical.
That is true.
Dude, it is all over. Dude, these are classic fucking sayings. Like, I don't know. I don't like it. Like, I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe if enough of us speak out about it, they'll keep Mike Goldberg around. But, dude, Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan, you can't build that chemistry overnight. That's going to take years and years and years to replace, bro. I like hearing that shit. I do. I'm going to miss Mike Goldberg. I hope they don't get rid of him. I hope it's all bullshit and they renew his contract or something.
All right, guys. We're wrapping it up. We'll be making an episode next week. Like I said, leave your comments and questions you want to ask below. Let us know what you guys think about us, guys. We keep it 100. We're honest about our stuff, and we'll touch any. We're not too sensitive to touch anything. Nah. So, if you guys need advice, you guys have questions about MMA, just let us know who to win what. Like I said, the question for the week is, who's got better boxing, Ronda Rousey or Brock Lesnar? Pound for pound.
Yeah, good question.
Good question.
Leave some comments. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. Subscribe for more. We got plenty more on the way. And stay tuned for next time. See ya.